Welcome back to Hollywood Live. My next guest is Dr. David Wells from Dallas, Texas. And he is the developer of a training program called Professor Positioning, where he helps people get into the academic world and find a position and actually be able to move up through the ranks rather quickly. He did that himself. He got into the education world in 2012. And within 6 months, I think it was, he became the dean of the university. And over the next 18 months had 3 promotions. So he's talking about what he's walked, so we can listen to this man and believe it because he's done it. So welcome to the show, David.
Thank you for having me, Jack.
You're welcome. So I'm going to ask you a number of questions today, but the first one, just tell me a little bit about yourself and the work you do.
Yeah, so what I do, Jack, is I help aspiring professors not only get teaching positions, but also have administrators and students crave them. And I do this by walking them from steps that are hit or miss to using strategies they can't resist.
That's very impressive.
Thank
I like
you.
that. So just to give me a sense of that, what's the strategy? Give me one.
So one strategy is to use hooks. And I learned this from a mentor of mine years ago, Stephen Scott. And what it is that, for instance, I would say, there are 3 things that Jack Canfield uses in his books that if you use in the classroom will help you retain students, will help you have better student outcomes, and also will help you prepare for job readiness. In his stories, he makes the reader the center of attention. Mm-hmm. So the lesson is make sure you make the students the center of attention in their learning. Another thing is that he engages the readers, so make sure every student is engaged in different phases of the lessons. And then the third thing he does is that he always delivers a message to the story. So make sure that every training or teaching moment that there's always a lesson that the student can resonate with right now, not sometime in the future.
So are your strategies primarily how to be more effective as a teacher, or are they also political strategies within the faculty and the administration?
Yeah, so the number one thing that my program delivers is help teachers get teaching gigs. Because we were told that, hey, you go to school, you go to graduate school, you graduate, and then you can go teach. Well, it's not happening that way. So there's an art to getting the teaching positions.
Okay, very good, very good. So was there a defining moment in your career where you went from being, you were one of the #1 deans in the world at a really national university. Mm-hmm. Was there a defining moment when you decided to go from just being a dean to someone teaching the professional positioning course?
Yeah, it happened. It was what I call a magnetic moment. And what happened was that I had open positions where there were hundreds and even thousands of applicants, but there wasn't many breakouts. Then on the other hand, I had people reaching out to me on LinkedIn and they were asking me, hey, can you help me get a teaching job? And I'm like, it's a great opportunity for me to bring the two together and to show them how to stand out in what we look for as insiders. So, we look for not just having regular teaching documents, but a way to actually break out, or the philosophy I teach is stand out or get left out. So a way to stand out, and that's what. I love that.
Stand out or get left out.
Yeah.
In today's world, that's important.
Absolutely.
So here you are, you're in the education world, and a faculty part of that, and so forth. When you look at that, let's call it industry of education and people out there that are teaching, how would you describe the state of that industry right now?
Well, the industry is going through a great transformation. There's a lot of scrutiny on the for-profit education sector.
Right.
So there's high emphasis on student readiness, student outcomes, and student retention rates. So what I do is help my clients to not only understand those dynamics, but also to excel at delivering on the results in those areas so that they can have what I call a competitive advantage over other professors for the next 3 to 5 years.
Very good. So now you've been super successful, as I mentioned in the introduction, and you're continuing to be a super success. What would you say is the secret to your success? What is your competitive advantage, if we could say it that way?
Right. I think my biggest secret is that learning from the world's best. So I have a strategy where I go out and find the world's best at what I want to do, and I copy their results. And it's not plagiarizing unless you don't give them credit for it. So that's been the secret to what I've done, and I also instill that in my clients. And the way that you do that is read a book, join one of their coaching programs and mentoring programs, or actually just seek them out and ask them and have a conversation, whether it's through email, telephone call, and so forth.
I always say success is faster when you study with a master, so I think we're on the same page there.
Absolutely.
That's really good. So here you are, you've been doing this for a while. If you were to go back to the earlier you, the one that started this career, and you could give some advice to the younger you, what would you say to yourself from now where you sit?
It's a great question, Jack. I would say to my startup self is, number one, trust your business instincts. And number two, go for your passion. Don't wait until it's convenient. Go for your passion and tell the world why you're passionate about what you do. That's going to attract opportunities to you, but it's also going to attract the right people to you. So live with passion and go for your passion.
Trust your passion, trust your business instinct. So it's trust yourself.
Absolutely.
At some deep level, I think I concur with that. Now you have a chapter in this book here. What was the essence of the message of that chapter?
The essence of the chapter was celebrity teaching, and it's all about leading with passion, showing that you are good at what you do and that you understand what it means to teach, because teaching is definitely a profession that's a calling. So you have to truly feel called and compelled, because you can truly transform a life, and you never know when that moment is coming. So you always have to be prepared to have a transformational moment for a student that you affect.
And that's really, I think, what feeds my work. I think what feeds you. Watch the lights go on. You watch
Right.
people wake up, make that transformation. Fabulous. So if someone wants to find out about your program, wants to work with you, where would they go?
They can go to www.drdavidwells.com, and on there they can get a free report on the 10 myths of profiting in higher education.
10 myths of profiting in higher education. Very good. Wow, I wish we had all day to talk. You and I
Yes.
are very similar, but I'm learning things from you. I love the way you phrase things. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Well, that was great. So make sure to go to his website and find out more. This is Jack Canfield. We'll be right back after the break. Don't go away.